January 19, 1595, the night the Ottoman throne was drowned in blood. Imagine a serene palace, then in an instant, chaos. On January 19, 1595, the opulent Ottoman palace became a stage for betrayal and bloodshed, an event largely forgotten by history. What truly happened behind those gilded walls, and who were the victims and the masterminds of this shocking massacre? In the final years of Sultan Mehmed III's reign, the Ottoman court simmered with rivalries, whispered accusations, and mounting fear. Competing factions within the harem, especially those supporting different princes, deepened political fractures. Murad's sons, locked in hidden competition, represented potential futures for the empire, but also looming threats. Powerful women such as Safiye Sultan shaped alliances and manipulated perceptions. As tensions escalated, the uncertainty surrounding succession created a dangerous atmosphere where survival seemed inseparable from ruthlessness. By the late 16th century, the Ottoman succession system lacked a clear method to prevent internal conflict. Every prince was a potential claimant, and thus a potential rival. Advisors feared that leaving multiple adult princes alive would provoke civil war, as history had shown. Courtiers maneuvered to position their favored prince for power, while rumors spread of plots and betrayals. In this climate, the death of Mehmed III in January 1595 did not bring relief. It ignited the fuse that would explode within the palace walls. On January 19, 1595, the corridors of Topkapi Palace filled with hushed footsteps and trembling breaths as the newly enthroned Mehmed III prepared to secure his rule. Guards moved silently toward the chambers of his brothers, executing the grim duty embedded in Ottoman custom. The princes, many still young, faced their fate with confusion or terror. Servants wept behind closed doors. That night, fratricide tore through the dynasty, leaving an indelible stain on the palace and reshaping the emotional landscape of every survivor. The massacre reflected a long-standing but brutal tradition meant to preserve imperial unity. Mehmed III, likely pressured by statesmen and fearful of revolt, approved the execution of his 19 brothers. Though presented as necessary, the killings revealed the emotional horror embedded in the Ottoman succession mechanism. Mothers in the harem collapsed in grief, while eunuchs carried out their orders with grim resignation. The palace, once a center of ceremony, became a place of mourning, its silence echoing the enormity of what had transpired that night. In the immediate aftermath, the Ottoman court struggled to regain composure. Mehmed III emerged as sultan, but his legitimacy remained overshadowed by the blood spilled at his ascension. Diplomats whispered of instability, while advisors debated how to prevent such tragedies from recurring. Within the harem, grief hardened into resentment and fear. The massacre altered relationships at court and eroded trust. Though Mehmed ruled, the psychological cost weakened the dynasty's unity, leaving emotional fractures that influenced political decisions for years. The massacre of 1595 accelerated calls to reform the succession system. Later sultans adopted confinement rather than execution, isolating princes in the cafes to avoid bloodshed while preventing rebellion. This shift preserved lives but created new psychological burdens, producing rulers shaped by years of seclusion. The empire gained stability, yet its leadership sometimes emerged fragile or inexperienced. Those who survived 1595 carried lifelong scars, haunted by memories of screams, loss, and an understanding that power in the palace demanded profound sacrifice. Historians continue to revisit the events of January 19, 1595 as a case study in the complexities of imperial power. The massacre exemplifies how fear, tradition, and political calculation intertwined within the Ottoman court. It raises questions about responsibility. Was Mehmed III a ruthless monarch, or a captive of a system designed to prevent civil war? Modern scholars analyze the event not simply as brutality, but as a reflection of the era's harsh realities, where survival often outweighed morality or compassion. The 1595 Palace massacre remains a stark reminder that empires are built not only through governance and conquest, but also through tragic decisions made behind closed doors. Its legacy challenges us to consider how cultures justify extreme measures in the name of stability. By examining this event, we confront deeper questions about the universal tension between power and humanity. Ultimately, the massacre invites reflection on a haunting question: what price is a ruler, or a society, willing to pay to preserve authority?